right. Greetings, everyone. Grand rising to all of our melanated brothers and sisters out there. We are the United Empires of Akibalan, and we are so excited to be here with you for our first Rooted and Booted virtual event, which is one of many. We have an amazing panel of strong Black individuals here that are going to share amazing information with you all. And we're going to dive right into it as soon as I turn this over to our most talented Mr. Pearson to give you an idea of exactly what the United Empires of Akibalan is. Mr.
Thank you
Pearson?
so much. Thank you so much. Our mission statement for the United Empire of Akibalan states that we want to bring happiness and prosperity to the Black community in America through our collective discussions, actions, and economics, promoted through one structured unity, which is the empire, comprised of many Black nationalist groups and entities that desire to come to the table. What do I mean by that? Because we want a place for all Black people and entities to come together to discuss our collective advancement. We wanted to create this to bring everybody to the table. So instead of all bickering with a bunch of different groups, we given a table for all the groups. We're not trying to seek to be one more group amongst everybody. We're trying to bring all of us to the table. It's not religiously based. It's not even economically based. When we work through all the systems that we have for those who are out here for Black people. We want to work together through collective action, through discussion, and through pooling our resources. And we want to come together to discuss the needs of not one group, not one thing, but of all of the needs of Black people. That is what we're here for. Let me give a little bit more clarity for you. Malcolm said, kind of paraphrasing it, if you're going to be a Christian Black nationalist. If you're going to be a Muslim Black nationalist. If you're going to be about whatever you're going to be about, make sure what you're being about is your Black nationalism. That's what we're talking about. It is our Black nationalism over everything. We believe that fighting over religious beliefs and fighting over faith systems and fighting over what we're going to call ourselves is not conducive to what we want to do. You want to call yourself ADOS? You want to call yourself Black, FBA, Indigenous, Moor, whatever that is. We want all of you to come to the table because the bottom line is we all want to work for this ethnicity and this culture. And specifically for the moment in this country. That's not limited to anywhere else, but we're using the focus for that. Our goal is the advancement of Black people. That's what we're here for. If you got another agenda other than that, we got to say what's saying around here that says be one or be none. If you got another agenda, this is not the place for you. But I'm assuming because you hear on this thread, you hear on wherever we streaming, you hear because you're pulling it up, because your agenda is about Black people. That's what we about. Those needs, those desires, those advancements. That's what the United Empire of Akibalan is all about. We are a micronation that is seeking to create a huge table and plethora of other micronations. And we're going to talk about that today. All of us. This is not about our politics. This is not about being a Republican. It's not about being a Democrat. It's not about being a socialist or a capitalist. We will use whatever agendas to advance our people are necessary. But I'm going on about this, and I'm going to let the speakers come on, and they're going to tell you way more about this than I do in this little summary. So if you would all step to the pulpit and bless the people, and we can get started with this.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. P. I am Straight No Chaser with the Queen. Y'all know me from formerly being on Fly Nubian Queen, and you know that we've been talking about this micronation for a while. So, as Mr. P said, we built this micronation together with the rest of the founders. All of us are founders for the need for all of us to come to the table. There's too much division out here, and we want to bring all our people together, no matter who you are. If you're B1 or if you're melanated, if you want freedom, this is where we're at.
Okay, I'm Kathy B, and I'm original founder, and I've been knowing Tina for a few years now. So Tina brought the vision to me for the micronation, and I believe in the micronation. So the one thing that I told Tina when I met her, I said, Tina, I'm going to get land. So I did just that. I got land, and I got land, and also food comes with the land. So I have food and land, and then we end up buying more land. So basically, I believe in the vision, and this is something that we all need to do and come together.
Pablo, I threw you in there. Did you, or not Pablo, I'm sorry, Mr. P, I threw you in there. Did you want to actually introduce yourself since I just threw you in there like that?
If I would, madam, I would yield the bonus of my time over to my colleagues.
All right. Pablo, talk to us, King.
I am the infamous most wanted by the LAPD and other entities, Pablo X of the New Age Panther Party and the Fight to Save Black Los Angeles Coalition, also affiliated with the Africatown Coalition, live here in Africatown, Los Angeles. So all power salute to everyone on board. And like you said, be one or be none, be one or be done.
Love it. Chivalry is always alive over here, but I'm going to let this king to my right go ahead and introduce himself. D Maze.
How y'all doing? Y'all know what it is. Mind Games Uncut podcast. I'm D Maze. That's my name. So I'm an activist here in Atlanta. I've been doing this for a couple of years, and I'm very excited to be with these brothers and sisters to make some real change.
Okay, and I am Angelina, and I am with Clearest Conscience. I am with this group. I am with this empire. That's who I am. I am with this empire, and I'm so excited to be a part of this. Like they all said, we're all making change here, and it's positive change, and it is an empire. It's not a group. We're making positive change. So I'm super excited to be a part of this and just grow with you all. I love everyone here, and by the time everyone's done here, I hope you all fall in love with what we're doing as well. Pablo's holding up these shirts. Make sure you go over to the United Empires of Akibalan and purchase some merchandise. He's wearing merchandise. The Queen Tina Berry's wearing some of our merchandise. So definitely check that out. But before you do, make sure that you subscribe as an email via email to keep up with us, so we can keep up with you, so we can grow together. It's awesome that we're all here on social media and we're streaming from all different platforms right now, and it's a blessing. But we want to be able to connect with you in our space, in our safe space, and that is on our website. So definitely make sure you sign up for the website. And again, it's www.theunitedempiresofakibalan.com. I don't know. We've got some interesting conversations today. We're going to be tackling education. And let me pull this up. And we're going to be tackling education, financial literacy, land ownership, and real estate. I'm super excited about the farming and the growing your food part. I have been excitedly waiting to see Queen Kathy's backyard. She's got some amazing produce back there. I cannot wait to see what she has. Hopefully it's going to inspire you all to start growing your own foods and just living healthier, right? We're also going to be talking about healthcare, especially with mental health. And that is a big issue in our community that we have to tackle. And then we're going to end with discussing political strategies for 2024. And that includes reparations. That includes securing our financial wealth. So we're going to launch this off. Okay. Did anybody have anything to say? We want to dive into this. What you think? Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. So what we're going to do, actually, let's throw some ground rules down. Okay. We're super excited for everybody that's tuning in. First of all, please like and share. The support is so appreciated. Please like and share. We are here to empower and we're here to grow together. So it's important that we are serious about this and we're making positive connections so that we can make what we're talking about a reality. What Mr. Pearson explained to you all, we want to make that, we are making that a reality, and we want everyone to be a part of that. So please like and share, grab some paper and a pen so you all can make notes, okay? So because this is about solutions. We're not just here to chit chat with you all today, okay? We're here for solutions. So if you see me doing stuff, it's because I'm making notes. We're making notes, okay? Because we're talking about these things and we want to bring solutions to the table, and we want to, it's a call to action. So we want to make sure that we're acting on everything we're speaking about. Okay. And keep up with us again on our website, because we're going to be able to put these things on there so that in a forum, so you can stay connected and we can actually come back time and time again and see where the progress is. Because that's what we want. We want progress, right? So that's what we're going to do. We will have guest speakers come in. This is our first time doing this, so be patient with us. Let's be respectful of one another, okay? Anything we share with you all, it is out of respect, it is out of love. So we would like the same, right? So let's be respectful. Anyone that comes in as far as a guest speaker, we welcome them. Everybody's going to have some time to talk. 2 to 3. We're going to keep it down to 2 to 3 minutes in conversation. We don't want to keep you guys here too long, but we want to give you information that's going to be valuable. Okay. So yeah, let's get started with this. And before I forget, speaking and liking and sharing, this is our first event, but please, you all keep up with the Black Agenda movement. If you are available to go down to Atlanta, the 22nd and the 23rd of April this year, Michi X and a group of positive, powerful Black melanated individuals are going to be down there putting in the work, and they're going to be boots on the ground just the same. So we're excited to get down there and connect with them, whether physically or in spirit. So definitely make it down there if you can. She's got virtual tickets, so support that, because another avenue for a solution. So we like to share over here. So let's jump into this, okay? I'm going to share my screen. Does anybody have anything to say?
Can I say something real quick, Queen, while you're pulling up your screen?
Please.
To everybody who's listening, to everybody who's watching, there's a reason why we said United Empire. It's not a United Kingdom. It's a United Empire. This is about all of us. This isn't about one big fish. We want everybody in. We want to do this because we're tired of seeing the disjointedness of our community. This is the beginning to our unity and the power that comes in that unity. That's why I say United Empire. Bring your kingdom. Bring your principality. Bring whatever power you bring to this table, because your power plus our power equals more power. That's what we want this for. It's for all of us, not for no big fish to look down on any of the small ponds, no big eyes, no little U's. It's for all of us. I just wanted to make sure that anybody who was listening understood this is a united empire. An empire unites a bunch of kingdoms. We want all the kingdoms into one empire, because if we have one empire, we cannot be stopped.
I agree.
And Angie, I think our first guest is in the audience, Warrior J.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
I'm going to add him if you want to introduce him. Grand Rising.
Peace,
hello,
peace.
hello.
Grand Rising, Warrior. Welcome. This is Warrior Jennings, everyone.
Can everyone hear me and see me?
We can.
Yes.
Okay,
You
perfect,
good?
perfect. Hello. Go ahead, Angie. Whatever else you have to say.
I was going to say, I'm so grateful that you're joining us. Warrior Jennings is going to be sharing a financial aspect with us today. So, along with some other things, along with all of us here, he's very versed in the conversations that we're going to have. So we look forward to having him on here. I have lost the screen. So if you want to take a second, all of these beautiful people have introduced themselves. If you want to introduce yourself to the group, and by the way, I know Warrior through you all. We got together. You all inspired me. I got together doing something with my clubhouse. And he's been with me since day one. So he's familiar with Tina. and Kathy. So please share what you have going on while I try to find this lost screen. I had it.
Thank you so much for that intro, and thank you to everybody for welcoming me here. I echo the very same sentiments that have already been said, along the lines of this is empire based. We can bring our own individual kingdoms. It's okay to, have different details about the foundation as long as the foundation and the core is aligned. And for what I've been attempting to work on and have been working on and things I've been putting in place, linking up with Angie, Tina, Kathy, Sharice. We're international now, Reverend Annie. There's so many people that I'm finding just like us that understand, one, the plight that we're in, how systematic it is, and then three, the solutions that are needed, especially from a financial and from a mindset standpoint. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and give a little bit about myself. My name is Warrior Jennings. That is my real name. So my birth certificate and all that. I'm 34 years old. I've been studying investing for 23 years now. I started as a stock market project in 5th grade. And since then, I've just been keeping up with it. I've been actually investing for 16 years. I've had the opportunity to go to Wall Street. I have had the opportunity to go to every Ivy League with the exception of Dartmouth. And my choice, like my brother that spoke earlier, like he said, the choice is to come and help the people. When you see how success is set up for Black people, they like to pick a few of us, give them a bunch to perpetuate an image, perpetuate a message to keep most of us down. So I'm not with the oppression, and financially, I have a way that I can help. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it. So the first question is a personal financial index, and there are 28 questions that cover
Actually,
8
hold on.
categories.
You know what, Warrior, hold on, King, because I'm gonna go in order with it.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna let you answer that in just a second.
That's perfect.
I'm gonna go in order with it. Is that cool?
That's perfect. Yes, ma'am.
So everybody, I sent questions so everybody will be prepared. So I sent questions to our guest speakers. So he's got some answers for you guys on that. Yeah, cool beans. Did you want to share anything else about yourself?
No, that's it. I'm excited to work with everyone. I'm excited to strengthen this community and expand it, do my part to expand it and bring positive love and upliftment and energy to it. And that's it.
I'm excited for all of us. I am. Okay, so can you guys see the screen? It says education.
Are you wanting the audience to see the screen? Do we need to put it up for everyone to see? Because they won't be able to see it. Alyssa.
Do I want them to see it? Can you guys see it?
No, they can't see.
I can see nothing.
Okay, yes. If you want to put it up, that's cool. Yes, ma'am. I don't see it. Do you see it?
Rooted and Booted event. Okay.
Oh, you can't see. Okay, cool beans. Okay. So we're going to go through this. We're going to, like I said, we're going to discuss education first. We're going to go through financial literacy, land ownership, farming, healthcare, and then political strategies. And so each of us are going to get some time to share with you all our insights on these conversations. And again, we may have some more guest speakers coming in to give additional insight, but these are conversations that we continue to have amongst ourselves with the United Empires of Akibalan, because these are things that we are focusing on. And actually, there's a call to action for these things. So we're going to address some of these things. I'm just kind of do a little think tank on some solutions really quick. So if you are watching in the audience, if you have insight that you like to share, make sure you put that in the chat wherever you're watching from. Okay. That way, like I said, we can go back and we can actually get together in a think tank mode and come up with solutions and continue to grow from this. And of course, it feels weird because this is not my event. So it feels weird I'm talking. So please, everybody, please feel free to engage and interact on here because this is not my thing, y'all. So
It is your thing. You're
well,
doing a
yes,
great
yes.
job.
I know. I just feel like I'm talking a lot.
Agreed.
I feel like Mr. P. I'm taking over. No. So we're gonna do education first, okay? And this is important because our children are behind, and I know it's a United States thing, but our children are behind. Okay, so we're going to be tackling the school to prison pipeline, resources for higher learning and continued education, and then being education for us by us. And that's something that we're not seeing a lot of, is our criteria, our education, our truth being taught to our children, and especially by us. So we're going to have that conversation. So what I'll do is just based off a lot of things we talked about, like I said, I've highlighted some things that are pertinent. We don't want to focus on the problem. We want to focus on the solutions. Okay. So we're going to look at some issues and we're going to go ahead and dive into some solutions. Okay. So one of those things is that Black students spend less time in the classroom due to discipline, which further hinders their access to quality education. Black students are nearly 2 times as likely to be suspended without educational services as white students. And so basically what that's saying is that, how many times have children been suspended where they're already struggling? There's already things going on at home, psychologically, mentally. And this is what's going on with our students. And we're falling further and further behind. So some of the questions, there's 3 questions that I've posed here. And I'd love to hear what the group has to say about each of these questions. The first one is going to be the school to prison pipeline. What are your thoughts on the school to prison pipeline? Actually, would anyone like to tell us what the school to prison pipeline is, and why that's so significant?
Anyone wants to start?
Anyone? I don't want to take over everything.
I'll take a shot at that one. Well, basically, the school to prison pipeline is a government structured pathway to funnel Black children from out of the home and through the school, from out of the home and through the school into the criminal justice system, basically. So anything can get you there. Just absences. If you have a situation going on that causes multiple absences, they'll get you for truancy and lead you down. Basically, anything a Black child does is like starting a school criminal record. So what they do is, you say you got in trouble for truancy, or say you had a disruption in the class, that basically starts you a record. And according to the school, that starts you a record. And then what law enforcement agencies will do and the criminal justice system will do is take that to go, he's already on the pathway to criminality, so we might as well just go on and throw him on in. He don't need probation, he need to do a little time. So that's basically what the school to prison pipeline is.
Just to piggyback off of what Pablo was saying, for anybody who might be listening, this is not the way it occurs in other communities. In other communities, there are chances, there are workers, there are conversations, there are conferences, and there isn't not only just a track record being laid out to follow, but a culture being developed in the person to willingly go to that pipeline. This doesn't happen in other communities. It happens in ours.
That's so very true. And anyone else want to say anything before I ask the next question? Because the next question is exactly that. How can we protect our Black youth and our students from falling victim to this? And that it sounds like a cliche question, but again, we really need solutions. What can we do to actually get our children in a safe space where they can learn and be educated? And that's feasible for us. Everybody can't, homeschool their children. Everybody can't do private schools. So what solutions can we come up with
I was
address it.
okay. Oh, who gonna speak?
No, go ahead, D Mays.
I'm just saying I'm gonna be short, sweet. I kind of let other people take this one, but when you say what solutions, I think the community need to get more involved. We need to have more programs like kind of what we do. I get into that a little later, but yeah, I mean the community to get involved because, for instance, you got a single mother, she's working 2 or 3 jobs. How's she gonna be able to do anything? You know what I'm saying? That's why we need the community to come together, come with programs that kind of help. And these men need to step up too, especially when it comes to our boys. You know, so that's what I got to say on that.
And I did have one thing to offer into it is this. Before we get to the solution part, we have to understand the mechanisms to how they do this, because we don't understand the mechanisms, we're not going to know what's going on. And I'm saying this so we don't stay in the lane of always being reactionary to get us to think solutionary. Mm-hmm. So optics and propaganda are 2 of the things that we need to get ourselves in tune with. So when you see, just take a look at the setting for when a person goes to prison, you'll notice that the bus, you'll notice the way the mess hall where they eat and everything is all set up. The school is basically a mirror image of what you see in the prison. The bus, the where you eat the lunch at, everything. So
standing in line, getting
all
in order.
Yeah, they're prepping you. Yeah, they're basically prepping you for it. So, and we as parents, we don't make that connection because we're so used to government dependence. We really believe that being behind enemy lines in our position, that it's okay to just drop your kids off at the front gate and let them teach them whatever they want to teach them. And we got to get out of that mindset. So that is the first solution. It's recognizing the propaganda and the mechanisms.
And once you recognized it, once you see that mechanization and you see that propaganda, you become your own Norton antivirus. One of the things about, if you go through all of the studies always show the more involved people are in the lives of the kid, the more the kids thrive. But people like to point that to the parents, and I'm very much on the parents. But our friend on here, Mind Games, who has programs for mentors for kids, and kids thrive in mentorship programs when they have people who are involved with themselves, involved with their care. It is a community thing. We talk the village talk all the time in our community, but when it comes to our community, we get this hyper individualism, and you're going to hear that word a lot today. We get this hyper individual thing where we take care of just one and not anybody else's. And that does not help us as a collective. It takes all of us being involved. It takes the parents being, you can't just put them in front of an iPad and think they're good. They are literally systemically training your kid to be okay with the pen. Mm-hmm. So you have to do Norton antivirus every day. What did you do? What is this? Nah, that's not right. Nah, that's not right. This is the right thing. This is the right thing. And if your teacher has a problem with it, they can come talk to me. That's what we have to do. Being involved, even if you that single mom who's working all the time, even if you that single dad who's doing your best to provide, being involved is the best thing that will help our kids.
Facts.
Exactly.
Facts.
And just to before we get off the topic real quick, I think programs is absolutely one of the things that's going to help us. Those that have established programs and then those that want to establish programs, I think it's time to cross state lines. And me out here in Colorado, I have a charity foundation called 22s Do Work. And then it's also going to take understanding, comprehension, and compassion. We need to understand that there are single parents. We need to understand systematically they're taking our fathers out of the home to break up that involvement, and so that there is no time to pay attention to the children. There's no time for the single mother that's working 2 and 3 jobs to do what she needs to do, and more than that, what that child needs to be done to thrive and flourish. So I think that love, compassion, understanding, and then communication as far as, there's a program on the East Coast, cool. There's one in the Midwest, great. I got one, in the Mountain West, and then just really connecting and really putting our words to action with the community and the love aspect. And that's all I have to comment on it.
A good comment.
Appreciations.
Great point.
And I wanted to say this. This is what we are doing as a micronation, as in trying to bring those groups, people like D Mays and people who already have things going, where we link up together. Because as I said, when we started this empire, there is so many things already being done. We just don't know. So if you got something, I think Warrior said in Colorado, it doesn't help me in Florida, or it
Right.
doesn't help me in New York. So the whole point is to basically, with us, bringing all these organizations together and duplicating them so that they can start working for us all over. You can't
Yes.
take off one piece of the bread where the mold is going to spread. So we need to spread this education or the programs that we have. And I land
Yes,
my plane.
indeed.
And I think it's also good that when Warrior brought up going across the state lines, because when you look at this thing politically, which is another one of our weak areas as a people, as melanated people, we don't really pay much attention to politics. We always say, I ain't with the politics, but it controls almost every aspect of your life, or at least affects it. So one of the things going on is strategically, Washington D.C. is not necessarily what directs where the culture is going. It's always either California or New York. So when you see something happening here in California or New York, you know it's going to go nationwide soon after. So one of the things, and this is for us to get a solution to, parental rights are under attack right now. So here in Los Angeles, they've already begun putting signs in government facilities that says you cannot yell at or even spank, discipline. Basically, you cannot discipline your child as a parent in this public space. So they're already starting to strip away parents' rights because we're not paying attention. So one of the things we can do solution-wise, and this can go across any state, since we know it's going to go national sooner or later, is start federal petitions, or start a local petition here in Los Angeles that says, hey, we as Akibulanians, and when I say Akibulanian, I mean every melanated person that whatever group you belong to, whatever your empire is, we as Akibulanians, whether you're a freedman, ADOS, FBA, whatever we identify as this group, and we object to you trying to strip away our parental rights. And we need to start, the same way you see rainbow folk use basically their sexual preference as an ethnic identity, that in and of itself is a solution for us to start identifying as a group, as a single group. Not meaning that we all got to believe the same thing, like we said earlier, but identifying as a single group under the umbrella of the Black United Nations, which gives us that leverage to say, hey, we will not let you strip away our parental rights. That's the same as an officer can't just go walk onto a reservation. So that's a red flag that we need to look out for. They're starting to work on our parental rights, and that goes down into the pedophile agenda and all the stuff that's coming up, but I'll land it right there.
And I'm glad that you said that. I know that this is a topic that we need to continue to talk about, but we will be coming here every month is what we decided. So we're going to close out the education. I know we have more to say, but let's move on to the next topic.
Okay. Okay, we're going to jump into financial literacy. What happened?
Oh, I was saying this
Did
is
you
a good
say
one
something?
right here. No, I'm saying this is a good one.
Okay. We're going to jump into financial literacy, understanding how to obtain financial wealth, the importance of generational wealth, and then recirculating Black dollars back into our communities, which is something that we have not done diligently. So we'll do a couple think tanks on this, pose 2 issues, and do a couple think tanks, and we'll move on, right? So the first one, and this is what Warrior is going to start, where he was starting to speak on earlier, according to the PFIN index, and we're going to talk about what that is. Black Americans lack financial knowledge and understanding risk and investments. They also have difficulties understanding credit, but many people don't use a financial advisor, okay? And this is just, and that when I speak on that, that's even having someone to help you say, don't keep spending your money on shoes when you're on a disconnect. I mean, you don't have to pay for financial advisor, but you need somebody to be able, there needs to be an accountability for finances, okay? Because it's not just about individual responsibility when we're talking about what we're talking about here. This is a collective emergency, okay? So we're gonna look at a couple questions. Warrior, I know you and anybody else, you do better than I would to explain the PFIN index and how it portrays different ethnic groups and what that means to our people.
Okay, so to start, the PFIN index stands for your personal financial index, and it is 28 questions across 8 categories, and based on the correctness of these 28 questions, that will give you your score. Let me see, and I did have a picture pulled up. So, excuse me, we currently rank lowest, we being melanated people in America, in terms of financial literacy. Now, with all that being said, I really want to ball that up and throw it away, because the fact remains we have the least amount of experience with finances. And we could talk about the reasons why that is, but that's for a later day. Moving forward, the way to improve that is practice. And one, that takes an increase of funds, and then 2, that takes a knowingness of what skills to practice. Skills like saving, skills like debt reduction, skills like delayed gratification, skills like prioritization, skills like budgeting. There's so many different skills associated with financial literacy, and moving forward that needs to be the conversation well before people get money, because money, and as wild as this may seem to people, money resides in the mind. So you can start working on your mind and make a determination to improve some of your financial skills prior to you ever actually receiving the physical manifestation of the finances. So again, more money and an improvement on our mind and our mental aspect, how we see ourselves, how we value ourselves, how we value one another. And then I'll wait for the other questions. That's all I have to say on that.
Love it.
Okay, so I've got a question
Love
for
how
you
you pointed
guys.
out.
What do you think is the issue?
I think the issue.
You got it, Queen.
I think the issue is just like he said, is in our mind. We think that we have to live like, I don't want to say the other people. We're trying to catch up to a lifestyle, and we don't want to accept that we are not in that lifestyle. We are put in a category, and we want the same things our enemy has. We want to do the same thing our enemy does. We want to give our kids the same thing our enemy gives their kids, but at the end of the day, we were not put in the position to give them everything. And the more that inflation comes, the more we're still trying to catch up so that we can have a normal life. So the problem is that we won't accept, not saying just accept to stay there, but we need to recognize the position that we were put in as a people and learn to work out of it. And some stuff is going to be like fasting. Some stuff you can't buy and have. You can't walk around wearing designer labels and still you don't even have that same amount of money in your purse. You're carrying $1,000 purse and you got $1 in your bank account.
Facts. Facts. I would say this too. I want to say this. We talk about this a lot in other places. We got to be real with ourselves as Black people. We don't really have any real communities in America. I'm just gonna keep it real. Like, show me any Black community like Chinatown, any Jewtown, even Hispanics. Like here in Atlanta, I can show you. Even though Atlanta is considered the Black Mecca, it's spots, but it's not like we really controlling our own. You know what I'm saying? Like, economy and stuff. Like you got stores and businesses and stuff, but control, like people, I don't think a lot of our people understand what a community is. You know what I'm saying? They think it's just a neighborhood with some houses and people playing in the street. No, you gotta be able to employ your people, which we do in our program. Like we were talking earlier about the kids, we trying to employ our people, let them know, look, we paying you for your service. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it starts like this. you got to get the family together first. Like the black family is like broken. So if you don't have a family base, you're not going to be able to build a community. So you won't be able to have no real community. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to have a family to build a community first before we can build up our economics. You know what I'm saying? And understanding credit, stuff like that. And then we don't even ever talk about legacy, leaving legacies behind it, you know, when it comes down to our people. So it's a lot of different pieces you got to put together to make this thing work. I'll let my plane.
Okay,
if
so
I may chime in right there real quick.
man, I just want to say this last thing. Man, I want to say it's Papa Pedro. Is it Pedro? The gentleman that just spoke, who said we need to repair the families, repair the communities, understanding where we are, we may have to establish and repair the communities as these individuals are getting out of incarceration. They can be welcomed home with love. They can be welcomed home with a different view, a different goal, a different environment of one mentally, but also financially and also physically. So because we are in that unique position of our families are broken up, we have to extend our hearts and establish that community so that as people are waking up to, you know, the things that are going on and they want to improve and be a part of our community, we have that community to welcome them into. And so as we get that communion going, now these families are meeting, you know, like-minded individuals, men and women are linking up, they're getting together, they have similar values. Now we're creating stronger families. And I know it's macro, but I can really see that coming. And to just piggyback and comment just real quick on what Tina said, I'll throw out that I don't think it's what we as Black people want, what white people want. We want the equality of status. And so the equality of value, like we want to see ourselves with that level of value. And so I think we buy these things because we see other people that have these things are treated a certain way when we have them. And so to get a better feeling about ourselves as Black people, we go out of our ways and artificially try to purchase that. And so that's all I'll comment on it. But beautiful points by everybody.
I do think this,
Thanks.
and I'm in agreement with that. I do think this part of the battle with financial literacy is changing our mindset as a people, because like I said earlier, the mechanisms, we have to understand that what's been done to us and is still being done to us is stuff that is done to destabilize entire countries, and they're doing it to us in this country as a people. So we are literally dealing with military tactics being used on a group of people, and it doesn't matter necessarily if you're born in America or you came as an immigrant or whatnot. They're still using the same military tactics on us. So when you have things like a 1.2 to sometimes $4 trillion spending power for us, and then the diaspora a $97.6 billion spending power, yet we have stats that say the Black dollar only stays in the Black community between 4 to 6 hours after the paycheck is cut. And we have the top 2 grossing enterprises are rent-to-own establishments and payday loan establishments. It's kind of in the mindset. I mean, of course, we have the income gap. So we have the income gap, and we have this American dream that's painted for us, and we're in a system that is never meant for us to achieve it. And it's kind of like they'll leave the answer out there, and like they say, if you want a Black man not to find something, put it in a book. So I think we might want to focus on more of how to get our mindset changed, and unfortunately, we're going to have to get that solution probably through entertainment means, because we've been dumbed down so much that it's kind of like a lot of people probably will watch this and go, oh, man, this is boring, I don't want to hear about this. So what would you say to address that mindset?
I love the fact that we're on a financial part of our platform, and to the letter, each one of us are saying we can't even really talk about our money until we talk about our mindset. To answer what Pablo was saying, if we're going to do this through the entertainment or whatever we're saying, for those of us who grew up at a certain time period, when we grew up in a time when half of us knew what the teachings of 5%ers were, because the rappers that we liked came up with these dope tracks and they talked about it. We didn't even know that that's what we were being educated on. We didn't know about, we just heard things like Cypher and and Knowledge Be Born and all of this stuff that was coming out through the entertainers. The only way to do that is to change the mindset of the people first. I'm thinking we all agree. Almost every financial book that you will read, almost everything that you will read, especially about us, will tell you, if you don't have the mindset for this first, it will not happen. One of the things we're doing here is we're seeking to bring change through our culture, to our ethnicity, through the mindset. We can't even really have a good financial conversation until we address the way we think about our money and our wealth and how it collectively comes together.
And
Absolutely.
I'm glad you said that. And I don't mean to end this topic. Like I said, these are ongoing questions.
Ooh,
If you're out here
can I say
watching,
one
somebody want to say something else?
Warrior J,
Hey, Warrior,
jumping at the
just
bit.
one last
we'll
thing
give you 2 more minutes. Go ahead.
to end it. I know we're moving forward. I know we're moving fast. That makes me super excited for the ones coming up. I will be posting a link to a resource. It's called the Premium Signal or premiumsigserve.com. I will post that in the chat. For 40 days, you need no payment information. You get access to trading signals. It's a copy and paste system. It really takes like less than 5 minutes a day, Monday through Friday. And you get to streamline my 23 years of observation, 16 years of experience. And for 40 days, like I said, you got to come with your own money. Somebody started with the minimum and they already doubled it. I do not recommend starting with the minimum, but that is something that you can use to start generating income, to get a taste of money working for you versus you working for your money. And then also you can see how it works before. I mean, you don't know payment information. That's not a scam. That's not a drill. Check it out for yourself. There's videos there to explain it. And I am very much available for any questions. So before we left the financial topic, I did want to mention that. And it's welcome to everybody on here. And then everybody y'all know. So, yep.
Give that site one more time, King.
That site is www.premiumsigserve.com. That's premium, SIGSERV.com.
And I thank you for that, Warrior. And anybody that's watching, like I said, and Warrior, we're going to be we're going to be coming here every month, bringing solutions and seeing what solutions have helped. So even though we're kind of going through, everybody that's going to watch the replay, look at these questions and ask yourself these questions that Angie has posed. So we're going to wait. I'm going to play a little music while Angie gets us to the next topic.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited because I've been waiting for this part when we're talking about land ownership and farming and all that good stuff. And we're going to start with land ownership first because I'm excited about this farming. I can't wait to talk about this. So with this, we are going to talk about understanding the importance of land ownership, reclaiming the land of the original people of this land. That's most of us, okay? And then rebuilding wealth through land ownership. So a couple of things. I don't know if you all heard about Bruce's Beach, and I'll be honest, I learned through the United Empires of Akibalan. I'm busy, we're all busy, right? But we all pull information here and we all share information here. Pablo X, Mind Games, they are super awesome about sharing information. I mean, we love to share it with you all. So I know I was one of the first to hear about Bruce's Beach. I don't know if anyone else wants to share what that was or what that is, and how us learning that we have land that we need to get back. That situation, they sold their land, which was stolen from them. So we want to talk about land ownership and how we need that returned to us, right? So I'm gonna let you guys dive into that. If anybody wants to talk about Bruce's Beach and the likes,
I could take a shot at the
otherwise, go
Bruce's
ahead.
Beach.
Yeah, let Pablo, because I
And
don't know
Mr. P might have a little bit more detailed information, but basically, Bruce's Beach, when we began to push the state of California for reparations, actually when the reparations talk began, people started looking for other things that were owed to us or stolen from us. So that's why you start hearing stories circulating online about the towns that were flooded and put underwater when they took them from us and things like that. So we've been searching, hey, what happened to this? Where is that? Where did they do this? So Bruce's Beach happens to be one of those. It was a beach town out here in California, and they used governmental tactics to take it away from the family and built a very high grossing beachfront metropolis, and it was taken from the family. So the family went through the means, tracked it down, and was able to sue to get the land back. So it ended up coming to a lawsuit. They were like, okay, we did take your land, blah 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 blah. And shortly after they were granted having the land back, they went back into court, or it could have been part of the original, or the reason they admitted it, to sell it back to Los Angeles County for a couple of million. So that's basically where, and a lot of people's response is, man, I would have flipped that, I would have did this, I would have did that. And then on the other side of the aisle is, well, maybe they couldn't handle it, maybe it was too much for them, blah 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 blah. But Mr. P, you got any more insight on?
Yeah, a little bit more. Let me jump in on a little bit of this. Here on the West Coast, in the beginning of the 20th century, as much as people like to talk about the South and how racist the South was, there were places here on the West Coast you could not go as a Black person. You couldn't live there. We couldn't even go to the beach and enjoy the beach area. There was this little parcel of space that this Black family, the Bruce family, had bought so that Black people could go and enjoy their little time in the sun in this little space, called it Bruce's Beach. That little bitty tiny enclave of space, I'm talking probably less than 12 acres, little place. The establishment at the time didn't want them to have that space. They used eminent domain and other tactics, and they took the space. Not only did they take the space away and not let Black people go there, then they did nothing with the space for decades. And then somewhere around the civil rights movement, when they thought they might get in trouble for it, they finally built a park and did nothing with the park space. It wasn't until the 21st century that they actually named the place Bruce's Beach after the original thing. They started looking into whatever injustices happened. And that's when they decided to sell they went through the mechanizations to sell the land back to the original family. Now, here's where the debate happens. Some people would say that the family sold for too little or too fast. Some people would say, as Pablo X said, they couldn't have it. They decided whatever money that was sufficient for them, and they went with that. That's not for me to judge here or there. The important thing is there are a million Bruce's Beaches all over America, a million different places where land was taken from us. And if you don't think that that's important, ask yourself why people like Bill Gates and other billionaires are the largest landowners in America, because they understand that owning the land is where you get your wealth from. The other things are part of it, but if your portfolio doesn't, I'm sure Warrior J will speak to that because this is up his financial alley. If your portfolio doesn't contain any sorts of land, you're not as stable as you think you are. And we have had land stripped from us since we got here. We had it before. I guess that's another topic. But you understand where we're going.
I'm going to touch on this real quick about, everybody know Lake Lanier Island here in Georgia, Oscarville, Georgia, what was called before they flooded it.
Gentrification.
Yeah, exactly. And so, Oscarville, Georgia was a thriving Black town around 1908. And, of course, like every other Black town, like y'all said, when Black people are thriving, they always come up with some little, it's ironic. Every time they destroyed a black town, it was always a black man supposedly raped, touched this white woman. I gotta be careful when I say use that word, but they destroyed the town pretty much. They flooded it. And then now I'm just trying to, kill the time. Everybody know they flooded it. If all the black people who didn't leave, they killed them, like they did in other towns. And now, I'm hearing these. I don't know, allegedly that the family members are trying to get the land back, or they trying to get compensated from it, some form of reparations, because they made a lot of money, in Lake Lanier, and people are just finding out about Oscarville, Georgia. They're about to make a movie about it. But I think that all black people who got land like that, even the University of Georgia, y'all didn't know about that, did you? Where the Georgia Bulldogs play it, the actual schools sit on black people land. Black people had that land, and they just starting to come out too. So that's just a small history about land that was taken here in Georgia. But yeah, the descendants of Oscarville, Georgia, the great grandchildren are trying to put a lawsuit together and get compensated for the land that was taken from them. I land my plane.
When you think about it, though, we're gonna keep finding more and more land that's owed to us, because how did we get here? If after slavery, nobody talks about before slavery, but after slavery, did we not have 20 million acres, as they say? And I know from my husband's parents and grandparents, my husband's grandfather, before he passed, he talked about how they came around and held guns and stuff, taking land from black people, and he held his own. So there's going to be more and more of this. I just wanted to say that. I land my plane.
I did want to pose one thing, since we brought that up. In light of what's going on with the BRICS situation, with Russia and China's coalition, it has been said that the top three things you want to have on hand are, of course, gold, then silver, and land. So, does that mean that we should be also doing a reparations push to regain these stolen lands?
Yes, that's what Black Wall Street looks like, is taking our land back so that we can have communities. Because as we said, we don't have communities. They say, oh, stop burning down your communities. Well, Walgreens, CVS, they own them communities. They purposely don't rebuild communities. So yes, we need to be, as an empire, when we all come together, we need to be demanding our land. That way we can claim stake. Just like you have the so-called Indian reservations, their land is protected. We should not only go for getting our land back, but also getting protective status as a micronation.
Exactly.
And just to comment one more time, that's the power of the premium signal service. Ideally, everybody really, but definitely black people, black store owners, black businesses, LLCs are being formed, groups through the United Empires, where we're coming together and we're funding these lawyers that can go out and change these laws, that we can fight these battles to legally obtain it. Because when you get to the crux of everything is law-based. There's so many laws that need to be changed and overthrown and really abolished. But when that land is discovered, there is going to be a legal battle associated with it. And so, using the University of Georgia, okay, between them and their boosters, they probably got pretty deep pockets for legalities. That's fine. We're going to do the same, because again, let me see, what's the word? Wrote it down. Hyper individualism. We ain't doing that no more. We're not propping up one of us or a few of us. However many of us have rights, that's however many we're going to champion for, because there's no telling what that grandchild or that uncle over there, or whatever the case may be. Hey, I just got out of a shitty prison of a raw prison deal, and I need a place to rehabilitate. And that's where we come in. I feel really good about this. And unfortunately, all of this takes money. Gold, silver, and land are definitely the three primary assets that we should be exchanging our fiat currency for, but we still need fiat currency to get that. So
Right.
I'm excited to work together on all of these topics. I'm taking notes, and man, I'm excited to meet every last one of y'all, and I'm very grateful for everybody that's joined on and that rewatches later as well.
Yeah, Warrior, I had a well, this is basically information for all of us. So in our battles against gentrification here, Los Angeles, California, or Los Angeles in particular, we've come to discover that in the sleazy brothel of the gentrifiers, a lot of these universities are involved. So right now, we have a situation right now in Africatown, Los Angeles, to where the University of Southern California, USC, old Trojan Central, is highly invested by the millions of taking Africatown away because they want to destroy Africatown and put student housing there. So as we looked into it, we found out, like, man, they have a lot of properties all across Los Angeles, and we're starting to see this is going on with other schools as well. When you talk about the lawyer aspect, what do you think that can be done as a solution for combating these schools and these banksters that are in bed with each other, and all, as well the politicians that they put money in the hand of to make legislations for them to be able to do this stuff to us?
Warrior Jake, before you answer, Warrior Jack, can I give you a little bit more context to what Pablo is also saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, where the University of Southern California sits right now is in South Central Los Angeles. There was a time, as a lot of you know, that there were sundown towns all over South Central Los Angeles. The neighborhood that I used to live in, over on 61st and Budlong, but around Slauson in Vermont, when you went north of that place until about the University of Southern California, all of that area was where we weren't allowed to be. USC has little by little creeped in from this being where the Black community was in the 70s and 80s when I grew up. When you go over there now, piece by piece, it is like a suburb in the middle of South Central. Wow. All of the things that happen in suburbia, the Wingstops and the Sprouts and the Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, all over by USC. Nowhere else in the several square miles of South Central Los Angeles, but there. Just wanted to give you that context more to what he's saying. That push out is going further than just where their school is. It's going expanded, and it's pushing Black people out in the process.
And before you answer, Warrior, I know that this is happening all over, but before we go to the next subject, we'll let you end this. We'll give you 2 minutes to respond to that.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Ms. Berry. So the solution is more money. The solution is one, individuals having more money. And as I believe as people are experienced in handling more money on a regular basis, then those skills that it takes to achieve that wealth will be developed naturally, especially when they become aware of them. Like any skill, you're gonna trip up and fail when you first start. You might try to, I don't know, save 15% of your next check and end up saving like 8. Like, dang, you still saved 8 because you weren't saving 0. So that's a start. It's also going to take some leaders that want to see these things go, or excuse me, to want to see these changes in the gentrification reversed, and that also care if they have 0 benefit. Like, it's going to take somebody that wants to employ a law firm, that wants to educate them, or wants them to be specialized in public law and private law and land laws, maritime laws. There's some laws that need to be discussed, but right is right, wrong is wrong. However, if that cannot be proven, or if the money runs out before that can be proven, then judgment will go in favor of what it's already been. And so it takes planning, yes, but it also takes finances. And when it comes to our community leadership, the mayors and the House of Representatives that we tend to elect, we do need to take a more active, more aware, more involved approach regarding our local policies, because ultimately that does go up to the state and then the federal levels. Like Mr. P, I believe, like Mr. P was saying.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We thank you for that. And I
Yes,
just
ma'am.
wanted to add this. Maybe we can look into they have the innocence program where all these other lawyers come together to fight cases. Maybe we need our group of Black lawyers and future Black lawyers to do something. But again, if you're watching this replay, look at the questions. Be your own leader. Get involved. And we're going to play a little music while Angie gets us ready for the next questions. Are we here already?
Take your time. I like the music. Take your time.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying
I love it.
myself.
Yeah,
I am too. I'm loving it.
it's good stuff, y'all. Make sure
So
you
we
like
got
and share. Like and share, y'all.
share. Okay, Angie.
They would just describe financial doomsday and throw some calming, polite music on.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Normalize
Pretty
this.
You are going to collapse. Let me play shotgun.
And then we play some nice music because that's how we
Yes.
live it. We live it like,
Yes.
hey, ain't no problem. Russia and all them just came together and crashed the dollar.
Facts.
Hey, let's go eat
Facts.
some crabs.
Hey, mind game. What did your boys say? When didn't they say they just crumble in the herb?
You might Outcast, yeah.
With that goody mob
Yeah,
or
Outcast,
outcast?
yeah.
They just
Yeah.
crumble in the herb. They
Yep.
just crumble in the herb.
Okay, Angie, bring us into our next topic.
All right, here we go with farming and agriculture, right? Who doesn't love to eat? I love to eat. I don't know about you. I love to eat, but we're looking to eat healthier. And along with that, the cost of everything, inflation's crazy. We need to start growing our own food. So right here, we're going to talk about understanding the benefits of farming and growing your own food, how farming will enhance the wealth and health of the Black community. Okay, it's not just eating healthy. There's actually there's a rhyme and reason when it comes to our wealth with this as well. Okay, and then how to grow your own food, which Queen Kathy is going to show us her garden. I'm so excited. And she's got amazing food back there. We were talking about it yesterday. So I have been super excited. I was up at night last night thinking about it. So I can't see what she has going on. And before we go into this, I want to encourage you all. Thank you, King Pablo, to go and purchase The Lost Ways. It's a book called The Lost Ways. Kathy was sharing with me yesterday. It's by Claude Davis. He is a European looking man. Does not matter. The information in there, you are going to want to tap into his information, and he's got it. So talking about living off the grid, surviving, taking it way back old school and being able to make it. So when we play the doomsday music next time, make sure you take some time and go order that book. Okay. So
I bet I'm the only one. I bet I'm the only one on the panel. But when she said he is a European looking man, they saw in their head some old dude with a top hat and a little monocle over his eye and a cane, looking like he was in like the 17th century.
And he sure looks like that.
And I will.
He might come on. He might be watching. He might be watching. He might be like, you know what? I'm actually Russian, or I'm German, or they like to have some identity.
He's actually Ukrainian.
Some identity. So he look European. I'm gonna let them tell
Who
you.
you talking about, Pablo?
Oh yeah, that guy. He's a Ukrainian. He came over before all this stuff happened.
Okay,
now.
see,
So he's a Ukrainian. But I will add to it this. I will add to it this. We are working on our the Empire's version of all the information, which is going to have a whole lot more added to it.
Yes.
Specifically for us as melanated people, as well as a survival guide and classes for those who join the Empire. We are working on is about 85% complete. It's going to be manuals and classes and whatnot, including quizzes. And we're going to literally take you step by step to show you urban gardening, how you can even feed yourself from your apartment balcony, to what you need to have in your bug out bag, including things like animal repellent gear. So like even like a suit, and this whole thing will be we'll try to keep it under $200 and all that for you to go out and get the bug out bag. But again, our own survival manual of kind of like the Lost Ways book, but the melanated version of it, which is going to have a whole lot more added to it, is on its way. So be on the lookout for it.
Yes, sir.
That's good stuff.
Yes.
Good
So I
stuff.
think
And
is
you know what? I
Kathy
don't
ready
think people.
for
I don't
us?
think a lot of our people don't know how important that is to grow your own food. Like we got community gardens here in Atlanta, and we teach the kids how to grow their own food and plant.
That's awesome.
And I just went by the other day, and everything looking good. So yeah, man, it's very important. Just like Pablo said, we got to have those bug out bags, survival kits. Get your ass in shape, y'all. That's
Yeah, I
important
mean,
too.
you just
I
grow.
would.
You can grow one thing, but D Mays, you need whatever y'all got started. We need to piggyback, bring your group to the empire so that we can be spreading this knowledge.
Okay.
Kathy, you ready for us? I see you standing at your door.
Yes, I was trying to figure out how to turn the camera around.
There's no little button.
It doesn't appear to
A
be a
little
turnaround camera button on here.
little thing.
It doesn't. Oh,
See somebody else in the room.
Okay.
I think
So,
Kathy
I
on
think
twice.
are you guys getting the feedback?
Yeah, but go ahead. You go out the door. We want to see your plants.
Okay.
Our
I
vegetation.
first wanted to show quick that you can grow things in your kitchen. So I have parsley, mint, basil, aloe vera, and cilantro all growing. So I'm just gonna turn the camera around. Hope you guys can see. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay. And
Are
this
you are
is
you
like-
are you actually growing those indoors?
Yes. This
Yes.
plant like this basil. This came from Black Love 17, and she sent seeds, and then it just grew. I never took it outside, so there are some things you can't grow inside. So I have parsley. There's mint. There's aloe vera right here, and then I'm going to take you all on a tour outside.
Yeah, I love Kathy's story. She has some stuff growing that she didn't even know was growing. I don't think we can hear you, Kathy.
Oh man, I wanted descriptions.
Kathy, we trying to hear you.
Yeah.
And she's just showing us everything.
I know what that is. If you can't hear it, if she don't come, that's her green onions. Those are resilient. They grew through the winter, the freeze, and everything, and they've been growing wild. And they're
Oh,
those
wow.
are you make the chives. Kathy, can you hear us? I don't think she can hear us, but we can't hear you, Queen. She just talking away.
And she just descriptive. She's just saying. She's just describing her little heart out.
But those are green onions, and they're growing wild. And those
What's
are something
that?
that you
That's
can
what I'm
grow.
talking about.
And that's, I think, her wild arugula. She went out there and seen the rabbits eating them when she started following the animals. And she noticed the animals were eating certain things. And she found out that's arugula. Arugula is used for spinach. Now, I think that's her arugula right there. And it's been growing.
I will lay in some information here for everyone that's listening. I don't have an iPhone, so I don't know if it's the same app, but it's an app called Plant Snap. So you can literally go into your yard and take a photograph of the plants in your yard, and it'll identify it for you and tell you what it's useful for. So you might already have some things growing in your yard that you can use right now.
I never knew
That's
that.
what Kathy does. She has an app, and she takes a picture, and that's when she found out it was arugula. And I'm like, most of the time you go in the store and you buy 50% arugula, 50% spinach. And I think she has spinach out there. Once she comes in the house, she'll realize we couldn't hear her. But we seen the plants.
And she's just as active and excited.
I'm trying to say, Queen, can somebody text her? Queen, we can't hear you.
I'll
text her.
We should let her finish the demonstration now. She's done worked halfway through it.
Yeah.
Do y'all hear a reverb? Is it like
Yeah, somebody's echoing.
I think it's because Kathy is on twice. She has her phone. Hold on.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because she has her phone and the computer on, but we can't hear her.
Okay, can you hear me okay now?
Now we can hear you.
There she is.
I'm sorry. Okay, so this is the arugula right here that we
You
have
got it right, Queen.
growing. So this is a surprise right here. We didn't plant anything. The birds came, dropped seeds. This is a sunflower plant right here that's growing. Over here we have, with the purple flowers, is radish. We didn't plant
Not
that.
only did she go into the matrix, but she
And
took
then
us
we
all
have,
with her.
We have cabbage.
I think a guest might be coming in. Somebody named Growth. Talk with Kofa.
No, he's in the he's in the
Yeah, he followed me. One of my
He's
people.
in-
my
he's in
mods
the
on my
audience.
channel. Yeah, he one of my mods on my
All
channel.
right.
Sorry
But
about
he's-
earlier.
He said, "How do you keep the deer from eating your veggies?" My understanding is netting. I don't.
Well, we
Kathy,
have a fence. We don't have deer. We
she
have
can hear us.
coyotes. We have coyotes. And then we just got an apricot tree too. So there's some little apricots on there.
Oh wow! One
So
thing
this
I
start-
learned is that the tree don't have to be big for it to bear fruit. I didn't realize that. It could be a little
Exactly.
stick tree and it'll still bear
It's
fruit.
also dwarf plants. That's what I was telling Angie the other day, that her plant may be a dwarf plant. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've got a
about-
peach
when I
tree in my
say-
yard.
Yes. And it could be a dwarf. So I'll go over this again. This is strawberries.
Okay.
And then we have the purple is kale, and then we have mint right here. The mint is kind of growing wild. This is alfalfa. So there's an app called Picture This, and on that app it'll identify all your plants. This is rosemary right here, growing. And Bruce was telling you all about the green onions, how he planted them. Can you repeat it? I'm sorry. We didn't have the volume on.
These are just regular green onions that I got at the store, where you chop off what you want to cook with, and at the bottom of it is that white part with the roots, and I just threw it in the ground, and this is what they turned into.
And
And they
tell
made
them
it.
y'all that it went through the freeze.
Perfect.
Y'all didn't do nothing. It just started growing wild and thick. Look how thick those green onions. If you've ever bought them in a store.
Yeah, I
And it
didn't.
went through cold weather because it got
Yeah.
to 20s.
I didn't have to wrap them in nothing, and they're tough vegetables. So if y'all got some backyard space, just throw them in the ground, and they're gonna grow.
And this is
Okay.
Bruce.
Okay, I like that.
Sorry. And we have kale over here
Mm.
growing. So he just planted the kale. So
Okay.
kale, and what was the other thing you planted in here?
Right now, this is just kale.
Mhm.
Only I had a bunch of them, but these are only 3 that made it. I got spinach right here. Then I got beets growing back here.
Mm.
Would
And
you
then we
happen to
have
have
some-
any wild lettuce?
Beats good for you.
I think Kathy, tell him about the wild lettuce. Didn't you order some?
Yes. So in the book, The Lost Ways, he talked about the wild lettuce. And with the wild lettuce, it grows. You can use it to make pain medication. And the pain medication it's an opium.
Wow,
Opium.
Oh,
So
man.
that's good
I
to
got
know.
some, and I'm going to grow that because the lettuce also, I forgot, we have one more thing growing. We have prickly lettuce, and you can eat that as well. But it says kind of watch it. So here's some prickly. This is growing like pretty wild all over prickly lettuce.
So is prickly lettuce, remember we were talking about it, is the prickly lettuce also wild lettuce or no?
No, it's different. Yeah, I thought it was the same, but I was reading it's different. So the wild lettuce is the one you want for pain medication. So he has the ingredients on how to make it. So once it starts growing, then
Man,
I'm gonna plant it outside and let it grow wild, and then use that for pain medication.
please share the ingredients.
Question: are you using any type of shade, or are you leaving the plants out in the raw sunlight?
Well, we're gonna have to get a netting because we have little chipmunks that like to come. So we have the gate, so the rabbits can come where the arugula is and the prickly lettuce. So we're gonna have to figure out that one because it's not growing in our garden area. So our garden area is on one side, but since the birds drop seeds, they just drop them anywhere. So we're gonna have to figure that one out. But we're gonna definitely have to protect it because it gets very hot out here.
So I guess to answer the question, Pablo, no, she's not doing nothing special to it. They've been, and you know, we've been working on it a while. They've been just basically taking care of it, but no different shades or nothing like that. And that's why she was shocked because a lot of her stuff has been really doing good. And to be out
Yeah, the
way
water
out
has
there
hit.
in the west.
Thank you, California, for the rainwater.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, because after the rain, the sun started coming back out and kind of cooked some of our stuff, so we lost our mint and our basil because you know how they droop over and get sad. So
Yeah.
I don't know what you do at that point when they start getting sad, and ended up that's where they are now.
Well, my mother-in-law
Oh,
used to say you could bring it in the house and put some eggshells in it and that'll help natural fertilize that. I guess we'll go in, you know, more into this later, but there's a lot of tricks. But I think basil and mint, you can bring that in the house and start treating it.
yes. I have mint inside and outside. And then my basil I'm keeping inside because it's growing really good.
And then the rosemary, I know Kathy ain't said it, but rosemary, a lady told me that's good to get and make tender and spread in your hair versus caking up all that oil and grease on your hair too.
But
Yes, I
oh
sprayed
yeah,
it in, I don't know if you can tell, but I sprayed it in mine yesterday. So I
Yeah.
made some.
Okay.
So do you use it like
Yeah.
as a leave-in conditioner, or do you like wash it? I know you were talking about that yesterday. Do you use it as a leave-in conditioner, or do you wash it out?
You just leave it in
The
because
rosemary.
a lady that I know, you just spray it like you would spray hairspray each day. It's a natural, but we're gonna look more into it.
and also not to give TMI, but if you like speaking of how you when you use the wild lettuce, you can kind of it's comparable to morphine, which you can make with it. But another one
Yeah.
you can use for medical purposes if you're a person that's prone to a gaseous situation, or you have acid reflux and all that. Basil, you can literally just chew two basil leaves, or you can take four of them and put it in boiling water and sip it, and it works better than Pepto Bismol for you.
Wow, did not know that.
Good. And also with the basil, I found out Dr. CB's book is good for high blood pressure.
Did not know that neither. So we got a lot more videos and shows to do with educating. We might start breaking down each one of these topics into a separate show because the more we learn, the more we need to learn. I got some collard greens. We've been trying a lot. So
Fact,
me and
fact.
Kathy and all of us, we've been trying to do a lot, but my collard greens just started growing. I got them in one of the grow boxes out here.
Yeah, and it tastes better too when you growing your own food. It tastes a whole
Oh
lot better.
yeah,
That's the real organic food.
yeah.
You can't really trust those farmer markets. Like a lot of them don't
Oh
even
no.
be organic. You know what I'm saying? They be lying to people.
And
So the point,
cue the doomsday music because I do. Okay, this is one thing to inspire us because I got a question
okay.
that a comrade wanted us to ask. They wanted us to ask how would you go about growing this in an urban setting because they're looking for tips. But to encourage us, like we said earlier, our mindset to encourage us to do this. I'll tell a short story now. I'm playing quick. We started doing research on a pesticide called atrazine, which has been used to turn